Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
What month is it?
June.
And what are we
We're
doing?
in June. We're doing the Stat Live. Yay.
Stat Live.
Yes.
So, guys, we're back at it. And if you look at the title, everybody should know what the title says about what's going on. There was a little hiccup for the first time in a long time. And we have to really say, is it a hiccup or a growing trend? That's really the question. And this is going to be interesting. So a couple of things on the news front, if anybody is not aware. The Fed met today. Interest rates are holding steady, which was expected. There was a little bit better than expected report on inflation. Was expected to grow by 0.1%. It stayed at 3.3. It was supposed to be 3.4. Positive news. Apple stock has done phenomenal. So the stock market responded with positive momentum. I'm sure it's probably a little bit overdone, but it's a strange time, to say the least. And the latest report here says that we have something possibly happening.
Yes.
What is it, guys? What do you think we're going to have happening here?
What is it?
It's going to be, and we're going to go through the numbers. And, I'm not going to give up what that is just yet. But for sellers, I think it may be something to be paying attention to. So if you're thinking of selling, I think, I guess if you're buying as well.
Yeah.
I'm just sorry. I'm just going. I need to go look a little bit more in detail at these things. We're still waiting for our Facebook audience to come through.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes. Sometimes it'll take an hour or two. But anyway, guys, the stats are coming in for the Staten Island real estate market, and thank you to the people who were joining us from TikTok and the people who are joining us from Facebook. So if I'm looking up or down, what's up?
Up is Facebook, down is TikTok.
And the TikTok crowd is quite lively at times, so you'll see us diverting our attention.
Yeah.
So.
I like that. but all right.
So let's get into it, Carrie.
Jump right into it. Yes. So the average days on the market are down, both month over month and year over year. So month over month, it's down about 12%, and year over year, it's down 18%.
Okay. Which is kind of interesting. Keep going through the numbers because that number in itself isn't what I'm really looking at because, what concerns me is that it's actually, again, the average days on the market is down. Months inventory is down.
Yeah.
So meaning months inventory, to rehash that, what that is basically how many times, how much it would take for all the inventory currently to sell if nothing else came on the market for the month. So that is down to
that is down
to 4.35, correct? On the
yes.
month's inventory.
For this month, it's 4.35. Last month, it was 5.1.
Okay. So 5.1 and 4.3, 4.35. Months inventory continues its descent.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is list to sell price ratio is up, 1%?
Yeah. From a year ago.
But month over month, it's basically flat.
Yeah. Nothing. It's changed like 0.5.
Yeah. The interesting thing is the sold median listing price is lower.
The sold median.
Supposed to be coming in?
Yeah.
It's sold on? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
You like to check it out. See if it's going in. So, guys, this is an interesting thing, though. We're going to get into that hiccup in a second.
Yeah.
Because there's something. Continue. What's the next thing that you wanted to rehash?
The sold medium listing. Sold medium listing is up year over year, 4%, about.
4% year over year. Sold median listing. So to clarify, what that means is what the house was listed at when the price it was listed at when it sold.
Yes.
Okay, that was a sold median listing.
Yeah.
What's the interesting thing that's pointing to this? It's down.
The
Right.
month over month?
Month over month is down.
It's down 1.2% month over month.
Okay,
But up.
so guys, that's the first ringing problem. But the interesting thing is, and I've said this before, it's when those interest rates peak up, you see prices drop. That's really the question here, is how much that month over month impact. Interest rates last, like when these closed, were up toward the beginning of the year, were up again close to 8%. And every time they've approached that, it's impacted the market in terms of price. This report is reflecting that one thing. So let's make sure we understand that. The interest rates here, it's impacted Staten Island more than it has New Jersey, to be honest with you. But if you're from New Jersey, it's not a great thing to see, because if prices drop here, that means usually the fallout effect is that it moves across the bridge sooner or later. Does somebody?
Yeah.
How's it? It says
What-
how's it?
What is?
What is what?
I don't
can't
know.
read
I
that.
can't read that.
What do you
It
do?
doesn't look like a word, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. So, but anyway, we appreciate your comments. Comment, please, if you know anything, if you want me to touch on anything specific.
Yeah.
Even if it's a broader economic measure, a broader economic topic, because I do think that things are changing economically, and I think some people are feeling the pinch. Inflation's definitely hit. Job market is crappy, and they're telling you it's great. We're being gaslit.
Yeah, I saw something on the news actually the other day that it's up like
It's
a
ridiculous.
lot.
It's
I
ridiculous.
forget the number.
So
yeah.
the amount of full-time jobs is down 242,000. The amount of part-time jobs is increased, and the roles that are being filled are, it's at the lower tier of the economic scale. So the jobs report, look, I don't know what's going on, but something definitely, something's not right with the reporting in this.
No.
It seems like something. Are you a lethal? Something lethal weapon. I don't know what's that.
Oh, look, those chairs squeak.
Yes, they do. I know these chairs are horrible. I'm gonna get like a music thing for the chairs. And you know what? You hear it more because we're on mics, and the TikTok is not.
Yeah.
So you basically
Oh,
you
you
hear the
can definitely
room
hear it.
ambience,
Yeah.
and that's you know.
I know.
Yeah, these things do squeak a lot. That's one of the things. And Carrie doesn't sit still, so
I don't. I'm doing all the squeaking.
there's her chair that squeaks.
Yeah.
I guess we need WD-40. But so anyway, so the economic reports that are in, but today's one was, I guess, a smidgen better than expected. I don't think it's going to change much in the way of the real estate market in terms of where we stand now. But the one thing is that people are just looking for lower priced houses. So you'll see, and this may be part of why the sold median listing price is down, is that people actually, you see a lot of people going for co-ops, condos, co-ops a lot, because we have a lot locally, and we could see increase on co-ops up quite a bit, because they're usually on the here they're still averaging around 200,000 for a co-op.
Oh, 200,000.
Yeah, you can still get co-ops here for 200,000 if you can believe that. I I drank WD-40 a couple of times.
Oh,
That's not good.
that isn't good.
I think my father told me once I bathed myself in WD-40 as a kid in his workshop.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Are you from
Southern?
No, we are from New York.
Ooh.
You can't tell by our accent.
They said your accent, but I guess maybe we sound a little.
I mean,
Southern?
she listens to country music. Maybe that's the reason.
Maybe it is.
She was singing country songs, so maybe she got like that southern twang. New Dorp? No, I can't read that.
I can't read that either. I think you're right on that, though. But, no.
New Delhi. I have no idea. But anyway, so the bottom line is this. Prices, we're going to get to the prices.
Yes, we are.
Go to the next thing. Go to the next thing.
We are going to go to the sold average listing.
Mm-hmm.
Sold average listing is down 2% year over year and also down 5% month over month. The new average listing, that's both up. So that's up year over year about 14%, and month over month it's up 4%.
So, guys, the people, again, what we're seeing is the sold average listing price is dropping. And that's not necessarily a thing because here's what I'm basically saying here. When you look at the numbers, I don't even know what that says, but I mean, we'll probably could read it in a second. But what's going to happen, why we're seeing the number, because I'm kind of like not quite understanding the percentage difference year over year with sold to list price ratio up, months inventory down, and then you have this number that's kind of like lingering, this sold average listing. And I really do believe that's what we're incorporating into this, is there's probably, and that's one thing I haven't done enough research on, is whether it really, I like your back posts. I have no idea. But anyway, so we're constantly being.
I know. We keep looking at the comments.
Excuse some of that, but keep commenting because we definitely like to answer a question if it's real estate related,
Yeah,
of course.
real estate.
We'll try to keep it that way. I know it doesn't always end up that way, but so the sold average listing price is down 2.8%, 5.18 for the month, which I'm just reiterating.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that has more to do with like the drive to, people aren't waiting on the fence, but they're going for cheaper housing, which is likely to be in the co-op area, in the co-op section. Let's talk. I'm trying to read that. I can't read that. Can we actually see that on our?
It's not a.
No.
It's not important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank God. Sometimes I read these things off the screen. I'm like, did you ever watch Anchorman?
Yes.
And he reads the prompt.
Yeah.
So he reads it verbatim.
Yeah.
And I catch myself reading these things verbatim.
I know.
And I wind up catching myself in like a.
It's not. They're just.
They're trolling.
Yeah.
Trolling at this point, which is something that is a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the sold average listing price is down 5.8%. It's pointing to the fact that interest rates seem to be weighing on the market of what people's affordability is. It hasn't changed much in some of these other segments, but let's get on to the next one.
The sold average listing is down.
You did that one.
Oh, so sold average sale.
Well,
Sorry.
the sold average sale is down.
Yes, that's down also. 4.62% month over month and 1% year over year.
So, guys, the prices came down. The sold average sale price is down 4.62% month over month. Now, I just want to point this out. That does not necessarily mean this is about the time what we report in what we call the period of the highest interest rate bump, which is like 3 months ago. So you really had the at the top of the 10-year treasuries approaching like close to 5. Interest rates were close to almost 8% at a period. I think it tapped 8 a couple of times. And this report's reflecting that. And every time we've done these reports, it's reflected a decrease in the average sale price. You know, obviously it takes months to hash out because in New York it takes a little bit longer to close here. So we close maybe, 90 days after contract. So it's really, my thing is that you have to consider that. I don't think
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's where we're at with sold average sale price coming down 4%. And that's the hiccup, guys. Is it a hiccup? The percent year over year is 1.31%. There's some different numbers coming in, but there is signs of a little bit of weakening here, which we have to really pay attention to for the next reporting. The next reporting is going to tell us a lot, so we really need to pay attention to it. Is it going to be a trend? It could be, but prices, the average month over month, the average sale price is down 4%. But that's a trailing indicator. Yeah. That's a trailing indicator. It's indicative of what the market was about 3 months ago. And again, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that interest rates approached 8. As soon as they start approaching 8, the market softens quite a bit. We've done this several times already. We've had this act, and we've followed the act accordingly. But I don't know. My thing is this the trend? Is it going to be like these bumps? Like it's like, how do you say, like if you get enough lumps on the head, you got to get dizzy?
If you get enough lumps on the head, you got to get dizzy.
Yeah, like these interest rate hikes over 8. It's like it takes a couple of hits, right? And then like the market comes down each time it happens. Sometimes what it creates is a broader trend is that kind of like, prices of things kind of move with momentum. And they're momentum stoppers. I call these rate hikes momentum stoppers. Mm-hmm. So once a market loses momentum, and kind of like any other market, when you look at like, the demand that kind of like pushes the market, when you see these couple of hiccups, you kind of riding the high, you get hit with a high interest rate, bumps down, hits higher interest rate, bumps down the price again, hits down the high. Now, so what I'm saying, enough lumps in the head, meaning the increases. So it goes, you like the market could lose momentum with a couple of like knocks like this, and is that what we're seeing here? Is the question. I think that's something that's going to pan out in the next few months.
Yeah.
I'm not
looking at
this point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The new listings are up 6% month over month.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're down year over year, though.
Yes, they are down year over year.
There was a big bump in month over month difference in listings. So people are feeling like, I guess it's time to go. They feel like maybe they're at the top of the market. Maybe that's kind of strange. I mean, some of it's seasonal. I can't read that.
I don't know, but it says, the other one says, how much benefit is there of
staging a property? Oh, how much benefit is there staging a property? Well, that's a good question, and I do think that, I don't think it hurts. I think marketing the property for online consumption is more paramount than the actual staging. Now, to a certain degree, you like to stage it for like photos and things like that. There are a lot of things that you could, with technology now, that doesn't make that a requirement. You could set up a stage basically for a house and get you an idea. Now, some people like, is it gonna? It's very hard to quantify studies, and people say, oh, it helps. Nobody's ever pointed me to a study that actually helps. What does help is, obviously, attractiveness, no doubt about it, helps. There's a question from TikTok, so we're answering the question from there, whether staging helps sell a house. And, I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt. And I think that a lot can be said in the digital era that you can do things where you do things, you're laughing at something.
Yes. They commented that lady's moving too much. Sorry.
She's always moving. She doesn't ever sit down. She squeaks.
I'm sorry.
She has she always twitching, moving.
I am.
And it's like, that's one of the things she's done since she's gotten here.
Yeah.
She's always in motion.
I can't.
And it's
stop
like,
it.
yeah.
I try.
Yeah?
But it's just, I can't do anything about
Medication. No, only kidding. Only kidding. But, that's like restless legs. Were you like a kid that used to run around a lot?
Yeah, I was. Like, I could not sit still as a kid either.
Are you always being screamed at by, like, your parents? Terry, sit down.
Yeah. Like
you were the kid in the restaurant that, used to get up out of the chair and start walking around the restaurant?
Oh, yeah. Like, I couldn't sit, properly either. Like, I always was sitting weird in my chairs.
I know, she sits in the corner here, so nobody kind of notices. Could I get into...
How can I get into real estate?
How could you get into real estate? Well, obviously we're bouncing back and forth.
Yes.
I think we could take that. Hang around, I'll get to that question.
Yeah, we'll get that at the end.
I just want to finish these stats, and I'll definitely talk about how to get into real estate.
Yes.
That's always a fun topic.
It is.
I go in forums, and the forums are really dreadful these days. Because just to kind of point it out, the volume of sales are historically low. So you have to go back to 2008, 2009 to see volumes this low. And I think a lot of people are struggling with that. So, but that's another thing.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with prices, though. Anyway.
I also noticed that the sold listings are up month over month, about 25%.
That's seasonal.
Yeah.
Seasonal. Nothing notable there. Month over month, sales increasing 13%. Typically, May, June is typically the highest closing. What I do look for sold listings. Where'd you see that there? Where is that?
Right here.
Okay. Yeah, sold listings up month over month 24%, but they're down for the year a little, about 0.5%. So it's not, they're in line with last year. So it looks like nothing's really changed too much here. That's why the interesting thing with the pending list, now pending sales are up.
Yes, the pending sales are up. Sorry. They're up year over year, 4%.
My chat doesn't speak, if you notice.
I know. It is all me. And month over month, it's up 13%. So it's up
13%, right. So the month over month difference in pending, so that's again a little bit on the seasonal side, month over month. It's about 3% more than it was last year, which is decent.
Yeah,
decent.
That is good.
Not, it's a decent amount if you're selling. But I do have something, the active listings are still down 5.5% though, year over year.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they're down, but they are up monthly, month over month. They're up 6%.
Month over month, they're up 6% active listings. The question really becomes is, the numbers I'm going to tell you, this is the most oddest time to be in real estate and just in general, because the numbers are so screwed up. These numbers, by every stretch of the imagination, I'm aging myself now. This is like 14 years of doing these stats. And I'm like, if you really try to make sense of this stuff, good luck. It's wild.
It is.
She has a habit of yawning. It's like she moves a lot, so she's tired, but she yawns a lot. So it's almost like
I don't know what it is.
it's like the stats. They just don't make sense. I said, when someone's always tired, you move around an awful lot. I wish I could move around like that much if I'm tired. I just want to lay and I'm a fidgety person. It's just
I guess I don't know. I gotta get better at
sitting still.
Yeah.
We're gonna crazy glue it to a chair.
Oh no.
But anyway, okay. So that's really the stat. The wrinkle in the stats has to do with the average. So to kind of highlight the average the average median list sold price.
The
average median sold price is down month over month 1%.
Average sold and median sold, right?
And median sold, average sold is down month over month 4% and 1% on the median. So we have a low volume market. Median is probably a better indicator because, like I said, you could skew the numbers by having 50 co-op sales and a fewer, more expensive home sales because it's not reflective in the sale to list price ratio, and that's what I would look for, a correlation between the two. So I'd look for that as being is that indicative the market's kind of tailing off? It means that housing affordability is not great, even though there are people ready to buy.
Yeah.
So they're kind of looking for cheaper options. So they want to get into a house. Renting is crazy though, because it's like that's the thing. Like people don't want to spend the money on rent, even with higher interest rates. It's the rental prices are going up almost as fast as inflation. So even with rates being what they are, the percentage of raises on rents, which is going to adjust, guys, at some point. That's a whole story in itself. There's a reason why I believe a lot of the rental market is overheated, and it has to do with a lot of there's a lot of money being pumped into rentals through alternate means. It's a hot button issue because it's almost like college tuition. Why does college tuition go? This is why I have problems with the whole, when it comes to housing, when it comes to college costs, when it comes to, it's like the more involvement from certain entities, the worse price points get. And it seems like, when you don't have natural market forces driving the market, every time it inflates. And this is a problem. So, and it's like, it's very hard to compete with working person having to make an income for their rent versus having so many people that don't make an income getting the same amount. There is this, and whether I agree or disagree, this is just the law of economics. It takes away supply, and because it takes away supply of people who wouldn't otherwise be able to afford it, guess what happens? It goes up for the person who has the ability, and this is the problem. And I do think that's the problem. But let's get to that question: how do you get into real estate, and why do you get into real estate?
Yes.
If you're still there, but we'll try it. But so, if you're getting into real estate, guys, and the Facebook crowd, if you feel like it's necessary to tune out at this point, we're not doing the stats. Be more than welcome, but you're going to be entertaining. We'll be entertaining some TikTok questions.
Yes.
Getting into real estate, everybody gets into it for the wrong reasons. It's not a job. And there's nothing more that entices me to get angry than somebody says, when do I get a paycheck? You don't get paychecks in real estate, you get dividends. So, which is, you don't get paid unless you perform, and that's the problem. And many people are not used to that type of environment But if you get into the environment where you're selling on a regular basis, it's better than any job that you could possibly have. And I've left full-time work to eventually start a real estate career and then open my own company from there. But a couple of things that you should know. There's so much junk out there, and like, not going to say junk, but you got to be careful about a lot of things of how you approach the business. And this year we're very happy to say a first-year agent who sold 22 houses in an economic environment that says there's no listings and there's nothing else. And this was why choosing like where you work, and we had the number one producing real estate person their first year.
Yeah.
And like almost in history, nobody's ever kind of achieved that many listings as an agent. And picture that we don't have listings that go around too much. So she's basically really kind of like broken down the system a bit. But there's a reason for that. And this is why we create better synergistic relationships between agents and between agency and agent. And the problem is that the rah-rah, this is great, it's about culture only, this type of stuff, and without the development of infrastructure. One of the hardest things we work on here is making sure, oh, there goes the phone.
Oh, no.
That's okay. It'll go to it. No, it gets picked up. But the big thing is that infrastructure will basically determine whether you're going to get a listing or not, or you're going to sell or not. So we're going to approach 1 million views across all of our networks. So if you're not,
Yes.
some of them big, some of them
We're
big.
very close.
Yes, we're like, maybe when you get back from vacation, it'll be the week you get back from vacation.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be the week you're away. And then when you get,
Yeah, I know. Then
when you'll get back, we'll celebrate. But
Yes.
infrastructure is the key to the organization. And if it's not there, you're in trouble. So if you're getting into real estate, one of the things you want to do is, what's the company's digital infrastructure look like?
Yeah.
Because it needs to be robust, and there needs to be a lot of capital investment into that part of the process. And it's not simply safe enough to just have a website. It's not simply safe enough to say I have just Facebook. It's not simply enough I just have TikTok. You need to look at everything associated with what the company's doing, because that's going to determine whether or not you're going to draw enough attention to a potential. Our job as agents, and this is not talked about, I don't know why, is the broker's responsibility solely is for you to be able to market your properties correctly and effectively to the public, and that should exceed outside of great photos and Zillow and Realtor.com. And if it's not being done, and you're going to look like everybody else, and you're going to go in with the same presentation, we do this, and we go up against a lot of companies far and wide. And we sell houses here. We're not the biggest agency in the world, and we sell houses 100 miles away, almost. And because our digital infrastructure reaches 1 million people. And unlike maybe some local real estate companies, and may have a lot of agents, the work of a digital infrastructure could accomplish the goal of 7 million people. So if you can reach 7 million people, how many people necessarily work in an office is very, granted there's a lot of people, but how many people are reached, and then effectively being able to effectively drive an audience to what they're responsible to do, which is giving the best experience to the consumer. That's not just, God help me with the cliches in this business, I hate them. I give great service. What does that look like? And I'm going to tell you, the reason why we have the Rookie of the Year person, because we had to beat that mentality out, is that great service is what? Great service is able to draw attention to your listing. And we do that internally. We hire a staff to do it internally. It's not dependent on the agent to do it. And because if I told you how much it costs for an agent to achieve that result that we get from a single listing, it would be absolutely mind-blowingly impossible, because that takes years of development. It's not a week. You could pay advertising, yes, But if you're talking about the cost of what I call the organic structure of the organization and the paid infrastructure, you could pay a lot of people to market properties, but the problem is organizations that depend solely on just using pay-to-play marketing, if they don't have like in an environment that we have now, sometimes that's not available, and people need to cut back. Are you guys stationed in California? No, we're in New York City.
Yes.
And you should check out some of the, like, if you go to our other channels, like our YouTube channel's interesting. It's not like we do like viral stuff in the sense like, oh, we do, our lives and our stuff are across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
But we do draw a consistent amount of attention to the things that we need to draw to kind of make a difference. Our website is probably one of the best search optimized, and that took about 14 years. And people think, oh, don't buy this stuff I can get on the first page of Google and all this stuff. We get these calls. How do you get that? No. We spend, if I told you how much it actually costs to achieve these results over the course of 14, 15 years, it's into the millions of dollars. If you actually include like how much employees, how many people were paid, how much content was created over that period of time, it equates to millions of dollars. And what the problem is that when the markets change like this and you don't have that kind of environment, and you have to make sacrifices as an organization, and you need to understand that when you meet with a broker is look at the way things are presented. Look at marketing material. How is marketing material delivered to you? Are you given a proper package so that when you go there, you could explain the difference between you and the next guy that walks in? Mm-hmm. The problem what I see with too many organizations, they overhire real estate people, okay? So the focus is, let me just accumulate agents because there's fees, and their fee structure depends on people coming in and paying a fee. And what happens is, in a low inventory market, you have 6 people from the same office all arriving at the door for the same listing. And the funny thing is, we walk in, right? We don't have that kind of infrastructure because I don't look to expand upon things that they're not going to be a service quotient because everybody in here performs at the same level. So basically what happens is you try to keep an even paradigm for every agent in the office to get an equal opportunity to make a case for why they should be their agent. And that's the synergy between agent and broker. And that's, in this type of environment, if you're not getting that, you're going to be in trouble. And because there are some great agents that are the problem is that if you walk in from the same company and say you go up against a veteran who spent maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on developing a YouTube channel. Don't yawn.
I'm holding it.
She's drinking Red Bull from now on before she comes on. But anyway, if you don't have that, you are going to get wrecked because 4 people from the same office are going to go, and who's going to get the listing over you? Guess who? The person who's already spent that money on their own personal infrastructure, because they're independent contractors now. They're independent contractors. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to just sit there and not only you have to battle, and I keep things copacetic here, and they still bounce into each other. I keep thinking, but if you have people bouncing into each other for the same listings, and like they're going in, they'll do it for sale by owner, they'll do these things, and you have like 5 people. I go into New Jersey, and New Jersey is more a lot, because it's like, how many people from the same company are going to show up at the door? And what are they going to offer differently from the guy before? Yeah. So not only are you in a race to get the listing, you're also in competition with the person who's better capitalized in your own office. So how do you think that's going to work out? And nobody ever asks these. We have a great support. What does that look like? And nobody asks these questions. Too much of this business relies on just some of the most, and sometimes that's where I get into trouble because it's oversimplified. I think in that sense, it's oversimplified, and I think people will actually have a difficult time. That's why there's such a failure ratio in real estate. You come in, and I try to take a different approach, is try to make sure that at least the agents that come in that are new, will have the same ample opportunity because they'll have an infrastructure to operate off of. So when they go in that appointment, they know exactly what's going to happen, what the broker's going to provide to achieve the best result possible for the homeowner. Because after all, if you're going to put my name on a sign, I think everything should look the same. It shouldn't be, that agent looks different from this one looks different from that one. Why? Because, and then what happens is the consumer gets confused and they're like, well, Joe did that for his house, you didn't do it for my house. And that's because the person that capitalized to do that for that house. It's because they don't have the money to do it, what Joe did, because Joe's been in the business 20 years, he just started.
Yeah. No, you're
So they're going to have to dish out, what, $1,200, $1,300 out of their pocket to achieve the same result that the person who's established already. So they have experience and they have the marketing budget, and you have nothing. And so where do you think that's going to go? I don't how do you think you're going to achieve success? And the problem is that organizationally, I've had this problem. I will not take on people that I cannot manage to give at least an ample opportunity within the market space we're working in to achieve better results without stepping on people's toes within the same office to get it. So you have to really think like this, guys, when you're going into this. How many people are left on here? There's only one person.
Yeah.
But it's good to know. It's going to be on here so you could refresh it. And I'm like the whole we do there's all the recruiting stuff and all that stuff, and it's one thing to recruit. I mean, that's great. It's great to recruit, but if you're recruiting while the rest of the office is suffering, you're doing something wrong, and you're going to cause a lot of backlash. And it's too much. Like you better make sure that the people in the office are very, very well handled and dealt with. I'm not saying it's not important that you recruit and this and that, and people want to recruit top agents and this and that. That there's going to be something, but I'm going to tell you something. This is a market that you're going to tempt fate. And I've been in this business a long time. And yes, some people come and some people go.
Yeah, it happens.
And I will say I could write a couple of cautionary tales because it's, I do think that the experience overall, I don't care, we could have personality types and all that stuff and and I do think I try to provide the best culture imaginable, but sometimes that doesn't always work.
You do.
But you have to really get to the crux of the issue, which is you don't want to be beaten up with, especially if you're just getting into the business, with people who are absolutely five agents going to an open house for sale by owner with the same card is going to look awful. Mm-hmm. And people have literally quit. I've done them. I've gone with new agents to these houses. And what happens is they go and they see 5 people with the same card on the countertop, and they're like, and then the homeowner, the funny thing is that homeowners ask me, and we've done this so many times, they'll ask you why. They're like, 5 people came from the same office. When I call, what?
No.
2 juice boxes.
Yes.
Okay, cute. So the bottom line is that if you have to look for this as being a major differentiator.
Yes.
And we're going to put a whole bunch because there was a lot of content there. So you're going to get that on Munch.
Yes, for sure.
I'm going to have a whole series on this. Just talking about this one thing.
Every week.
Because it's important to know that there's a profound difference, and if you don't know what that difference is, and there's so much, there's so much smoke and mirrors, and I feel bad for people who got into the business and fall into that trap because they're in and out. But I've seen people who, it's not easy either. It's not easy at all. So that's how we go. Don't fall asleep on me, Kerry, just yet.
No,
I'll get the pillow for you later. Anyway, that's what we have for the report. And hopefully, obviously we're on overtime on Facebook, which we do both platforms.
Yes.
And I guess the live is posted on Facebook. So if you go back there, you can see the whole entire thing.
And YouTube, I'll post it on YouTube.
And you can get your juice box. If you watch it, if you subscribe to our channels, you'll get a juice box.
Yes, we'll give you.
We'll send the juice box?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have, Kerry's going to be autographing T-shirts.
Oh.
Prodigy T-shirts.
Yeah. I got to practice my signature.
Practice it. I want to see it.
This is how I sign. You don't like
You don't want to put it up, but it's...
Yeah, I don't want to just...
It's literally Kerry Q.
It is.
You know how to spell your last name?
Do I know how to spell it?
No, I'm just joking. It's literally just a Q.
Yeah. Because
it looks like the Z2 logo.
Z2? It does. It does.
Okay, wait a minute. This looks like
Yeah,
the Z2 logo on
Yeah.
these.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
That's funny.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. Anyway. Guys, have a great weekend.
Yes.
And I know it's Wednesday, but we won't be returning for a good week.
Yes.
So next week we'll no.
No. But, yes, so next week you'll do a live. Correct.
That's it, guys.
Yes.
Before I start making fun of it.
Okay.
What did I even gonna say?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Is she so jealous? No, goodbye. Ciao.
Bye, guys.